she said the honeymoon period is over. She got 3 years worth of free fuel from Toyota. And in that case, like, fine. You don't have to worry about any fuel costs. It's free gas. Oh, of course. Yeah, let's do it. In front of, okay, great. Hi, it's David Tracy with the Autopian, and today is Trade-In Tuesday, which means we're going to look at a car that was recently traded into Galpin. That's the Autopian's parent company. And today's car is, look at it. I know, you're wondering, where's the cool car? You're spending your time looking at a cool car and shooting it and making a video out of it. Where is it? That car is cooler than it looks. It's the Toyota Mirai, which is, well, let me show you. It looks boring. Looks kind of like an Avalon or a Camry, but it is a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle, which means it actually uses hydrogen in tanks, and a fuel cell under the hood turns that hydrogen, along with oxygen, into electricity that propels the vehicle. A hydrogen car! We're gonna drive one today and see what it's like, and we're gonna try to refuel it. Never done that before, very excited. This is coming apart here, and then I think on the other side, it's also coming apart. Surprised someone hasn't drilled holes and zip tied. You ever seen those? Folks that just use a zip tie right there, classic. Look at these tires. What is going on? Holy crap. Why is someone driving on essentially bald tires? That is, where's the valve stem cap for this thing? Well, the steering wheel is sort of tearing at the top. But there's a rag in here. Okay. For the most part, it looks, ooh, what's going on back there? Anyway, you can see it is a 4-seater. There's no center seat here. There's a tank, a hydrogen tank that is underneath. I think that goes along the spine. And then I think there's one maybe in the trunk that goes laterally, but you can see no seating in the center. These 2 seats are heated. There's storage here. Let's pop the hood and see if we can see anything cool. All right, fuel cell. Its job is to take hydrogen that's in storage tanks and to turn it into electricity to propel the engine or motor, electric motor. All right, let's drive this thing. I've never driven a hydrogen car. I don't know how much range is on this. Let's just see what happens. Okay, well, for the most part, the interior is like reasonably nice. It's not easy. It's basically like this is a very expensive Camry, more or less. It costs like 50. I think it starts at about 50 grand. Not a whole lot of people are buying these because there are not a whole lot of hydrogen fueling stations. There aren't even 100 in the US. I think there are maybe 50 in the entire country. The other thing about this car is that, okay, yeah, there aren't a lot of fueling stations. These things depreciate like crazy. They're like 50 grand new. You can buy a 2020 model. That's a 3-4-year-old car for 10,000 bucks. It's pretty hilarious. Now that's a base model that maybe you could have gotten in the 40s new, but point is you're losing like 30 grand in depreciation in 4 years. All right, let's fire. I don't know what's gonna happen. I think I'm gonna start it. It'll start like an electric car. So, okay, things are happening. Relays are clicking. Okay, that looks fancy back there. Okay. Ion filter maintenance required. Ion filter? What the hell? I don't have an ion filter on hand. I don't even know what an ion filter is. Okay, it moves forward, kind of like an EV. Ooh, oh, this is not good. 52 miles of range left. So, what the hell? This thing's kind of loud. Wait, that might be an airplane. That's a helicopter, my bad. Let's just drive this thing around. It's got about 150 horsepower. Effectively, it behaves like an electric car. You've got an electric motor. There's no transmission. It's direct drive. Damn, it's not fast. It's not fast at all. Oh, man. It's pretty damn slow. Ooh, and also, when I hit it, I wish you could hear this. Probably not going to pick it up, but when I hit it, It sounds like there's like a small child yelling under the hood. You hear that? It's just whee!
Oh, you can hear it.
Just having a great time under there. Man, this thing's pretty normal otherwise, I have to say. The average person probably doesn't even realize this is a hydrogen car. It drives really normally, drives really great. Now, what are the advantages of a hydrogen car? Like, what's the point here? Well, if you ask a lot of people, you ask, experts at, say, Volkswagen or Tesla, they'll probably tell you that hydrogen's kind of a dead end. But Japanese automakers have for the longest time believed that it's still worth pursuing. The great thing about hydrogen, you can refill hydrogen in 5 minutes. This whole tank gets refilled in 5 minutes, and then you have almost 400 miles of range in 5 minutes. You can't say that about an electric car. An electric car, you plug in, you gotta wait a long time before that thing gets charged up. You have to create the hydrogen that goes into the tank, which means you have to put energy into a process called electrolysis, which breaks water down into its molecules, including hydrogen, and you have to freeze it, you have to shove it into tanks, and then you have to transport it. And so the overall process takes energy. It's not a perfectly efficient process. So it's not like you can just pick up hydrogen from a hydrogen plant like that, or a hydrogen tree. It is something that needs to be created, and that takes energy. So that's kind of one of the major downsides. And another downside from a practical standpoint, it ain't cheap right now at all. Like, I'm gonna fill this tank and I'm gonna go into bankruptcy. I'm gonna file today. It's like, okay, I drive this efficient car and it's a hydrogen futuristic car, but I'm paying as much as I am for gasoline. Look, no, who's gonna do that? No one's gonna do it. It's slow. It's a hard sell, to be honest. You could see this being great for an over-the-road truck. A huge truck that has to tow a bunch of stuff, that has a huge battery that it would take forever to charge. This could make sense. Now, one thing I noticed is that the brake system does not have this hard regenerative braking like you would expect from an electric car. An EV, you let off the accelerator pedal and it slows down. The motor's used as a generator to recharge the battery. The battery on this thing, really, really small. I think it's like maybe a couple of kilowatt hours. That battery is, if I understand this correctly, is powering the fuel cell up front, which is creating the electricity from the hydrogen. I don't know a ton about this, to be honest, but I'm very intrigued. Acceleration is nice and smooth. Honestly, it's weird to say, but you really don't need much more than about 150 horsepower. If there's no transmission and it's direct drive, 150 horsepower, plenty. Plenty for a car that weighs this much. The car probably weighs, I don't know, 3,500 pounds, if I had to guess, maybe 2 tons. All right, 4.1 miles. So you can see our fuel bar is at 1 bar. So this thing does need to be filled up. I'm really concerned, actually. Oh, there it is. Oh, someone else with hydrogen. Look, let's see if we can interview that. Look at that, she's refilling her hydrogen car. I'm gonna talk to her real quick. David, hey, what's your name?
It's Micheline.
Micheline, pleasure. This is Carlo. We're filming. I write for an automotive publication called the Autopian, and this is my very first time driving a hydrogen car.
Okay.
And
How long have you been driving it?
about 10 minutes. So, how long have you been driving yours?
Oh my God. Like maybe 3 years, right before COVID.
3 years. So you're okay.
Yeah.
Kind of an early adopter in some ways.
Yes.
So, how do you like driving a car with hydrogen?
Well, first of all, I love the car. I completely 100% love the car, but it has some pros and cons, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, like before when I got the car, it was an older year. It was like 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So for a good price, I got it for. And then, you know, they give you the offer of you get the free hydrogen, you know.
Okay. So how long?
So it lasted me for 3 years. It just recently changed, like maybe 2 months ago.
Okay.
So my credit is done. So now I'm actually paying for it. So
how bad is it?
It's horrible.
Is it that bad?
It's horrible.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like right now I'm going to probably trade this car. Like right now it's at 83.
$85 and you, okay, so it's in kilograms.
Yeah, in kilograms. And then so if I go all the way to Torrance, that's a half of a tank.
Ooh, okay. Okay, so we just did some calculations. If you owned like a Toyota Camry, which is a similar size, and you got 30 miles per gallon, $70 would get you 400 miles.
Right. This only gives me...
Do you get 400 miles out of it?
No.
Not even?
It only gives me like 240.
And you're over $100 right now.
Exactly.
102, 103. Exactly. It keeps going up.
Watch. And this is like filling it up.
Stop. Please stop.
Like,
okay, so how do you do it? Do you just sort of shove it in there, or?
So
you wear gloves.
I wear gloves because it gets cold. This is cold right now.
Oh, it gets cold, really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is cold.
Yeah.
So you wear gloves.
Like just imagine like in the winter. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, and not just that, but like if it's frozen, some people like to jank it. Like
wait, so it can freeze on there, or?
Yeah. So sometimes you gotta wait a few seconds before it actually releases itself.
Wow.
And then once it releases itself, the key is, see how it's not coming off yet?
Oh.
Okay. Now
okay, so you pull the top back.
pull it back, and then it pulls out.
Oh, that is kind of cool looking though.
When it's too cold, it will not do that yet, and people end up like pulling this. So if you go to other stations, you'll notice like this part is like hanging off because of the fact that
are
like pulling it rather than waiting for this to like release itself. It has to like.
Can we look at the end real quick? Do you want to have a look? Sure. Look at that. You can see the nozzle in there, and then wow, is there like a seal on here?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So there's an O-ring in the middle there. It looks like.
Pretty much.
So it's like if you're used to like power tools, like air tools, like in a garage, it's similar to that. Similar to like an air gun kind of.
Let's see what.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Usually my car is clean, but it's been parked pretty much for a whole month.
Okay, all right.
So that's the reason why it's dirty.
The car is usually clean, for the record.
Yes.
Here, I'll just peek over your shoulder here.
$109.98.
234 miles for $110 basically. Okay, $110. It's like $5 a gallon for gasoline right now, right?
Yeah.
So that's 22 gallons of gas, which a car that gets 20 miles per gallon, which a normal car does, well over 440 miles.
They kind of overpromised me because they said when they sold me the car, they said, I'm gonna at least get 300 miles. I don't think I've ever seen 300 miles.
Do you do a lot of highway driving, I assume, or?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love these.
But
love city driving.
Like, have the Echo. Actually, talk to like when we're gassing up, and they will tell me the same thing. Like they're.
It's hard to
the car or they're driving something else.
It's just hard to justify, isn't it? Michelin it was, right?
Michelin.
Thank you very much for your time. That was really cool.
Your name is?
David. I just got a tutorial, so I'm happy. Apparently it works just like a gas pump, but you know I'm not about to fill this thing all the way up. $110 and that didn't even fill her car up. Ugh. I wonder if that rag is there because it gets cold and they probably use the rag to hold the thing. I don't know, we'll see. Let's connect the nozzle, here we go. Oh, feel the power. Just gonna take this little thing off here. We'll put that on there. Oh, this is cool. Oh, that's satisfying. It's exactly like I wanted. Here we go. We're gonna press H70. M is for membership? I don't know what it is. Things are happening, you can hear. Fueling in progress. It's already $1. Okay, all right, we're already in. Okay, we're good, we're good. All right, $7. 42 miles, come on.
We lost mileage?
Seems like we lost mileage. I don't know exactly how that makes any sense. Still at 42. It's still at 42. How long does it take for this thing to refuel? 42 still? What the heck? Okay, let's go. I put $7. Did I just put $7? I should have just set those $7 on fire, apparently. What the hell? We got fewer. Still at 42 miles. That was the worst $7 I ever spent in my life. It got us nowhere. Anyway, very interesting conversation with Michelin. She told me that she had to have her car sit for 2 weeks because she couldn't find hydrogen anywhere. She was telling me that she knows folks who have to have their car regularly towed to hydrogen stations. What a shit show. She did say she loves her car though. She thinks it drives really well. It drives like a Tesla, she says. And because she got it with free fuel for the first 3 years, it was really compelling for her as a car. She bought it for $17,000 in 2020 when it was 3 years old, had about 24,000 miles on it. That is a dirt cheap 3-year-old Toyota with that few miles. If I had to guess, a 2017 Mirai you can get for like probably 8 grand maybe, so it's like $9,000 in depreciation. Still cool. Still cool. It's still at 42 miles. I just set that money on fire, basically. Should I go back and refuel? I mean, is it going to be a problem for the dealership selling this thing? $100 bills, I got racks on the way. I'm making them big. Hot water is coming out. Look at this. Steamy. You can see the steaming. So what happened is I clicked the H2O button. There's a water button on the dash. Look at this. When you hit this, look, it's coming. Since the day that I was born, I've been a big deal. I'm a hot girl. I'm a hot girl. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, cheers. That was awesome. All right, we're gonna try to fill this thing up.